Hello and welcome to Slightly Rambling, the slightly pointless, slightly vlog with me, Slightly Luke. Well, just Luke. One of the first vlogs I did for this channel was about board games. Now I might have mentioned once or twice that they're a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, a lot of fun, but a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun, a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, 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 fun. It's a lot of fun. Well, anyway, since then, I may have collected one or two more board games, so I decided to do an update video. Board games are great. I just wish I actually had friends to play them with. Hey, I was wondering if you want to play some board games? Hello? Hello? I win! I don't let that stop me buying them though, so let's start the vlog. It already started a few minutes ago, but let's start it officially now. Scroll is a simple party game in which you get whiteboards and prompts and you have to draw what you see, pass it along, and the person has to try and guess what they're looking at. They write it down, they pass it along, next person draws something, and you just see how the progression from the original prompt all the way to the last drawing or word. It's quite a fun little simple game, but you could really just play it with pen and paper, but I do quite like that I've got an official box for it. Camel Up Super Cup, the expansion for the fun sort of camel racing game, it isn't necessary to buy. You have a lot of fun with the base game anyway, but I quite liked the added little extra features it brought, such as extending the race sort of track, as well as things like being able to guess where certain camels are going to land and take a picture, all ways to get extra money throughout the game. It adds just little silly fun little things. Like I say, it isn't really necessary to get it, but if you're a big fan of the original game, it's worth it. I think it's nice little additions. Monopoly Go, I haven't actually had a chance to play this yet, but I've been reassured by plenty of people that it's basically a quick-paced, far more exciting and fun version of Monopoly, where you just have decks of cards. I can't really say too much about it until I've played it, but apparently it's really good. Fun Employed is quite similar to Snake Oil in the way that you have to come up with ideas. Instead of Snake Oil where you have to pitch products, this time you're pitching yourself for certain job roles. It's different enough to Snake Oil to make it worth sort of getting as well as. The idea is you just have different random cards that have different skills that you have, and you need to explain to the potential employer why you're worth hiring. We've played it a couple of times and it's just been really funny just seeing how people try and convince them that they're the best person for the job with really strange qualities. Sometimes you don't have a choice. Like we had a variant where the person playing the employer gets to pick a few cards to just throw at them and say, "Oh, I heard you're this," and stuff like that. It's another simple game, quick party game, and it's really good. Exploding Kittens is a light-hearted, quick game that I'd probably use as a warm-up. It goes really quick and it's basically a player elimination game where you've got to avoid getting the exploding kitten. I've got the base game, the not safe for work version, and the expansion Imploding Kittens. This adds more sort of powers and abilities that you can do throughout the game, and I think it's definitely worth getting that one. Just to spice it up a bit, because it can be quite simple and it's a lot down to luck, but as playing just like a round or two in between more heavier games, I think it's worth getting. Yeah, very simple, but quite good. Jamaica the Crew is another expansion that I've decided to get, this one for the pirate racing game. It basically adds different characters that you can collect when you go to the docks on the map of the board, and they all have different abilities that you can use, but they do take up a space on your ship. I haven't had a proper chance to play with them yet, but I think it's going to add more to the game, which was quite random based with the dice rolls and stuff like that. It had a little bit of tactics, but I think this one will basically add a bit more excitement to it, which is always good. So yeah. Chameleon is similar to things like Avalon in that someone has a secret role and they're trying to blend in with the other players. The game involves everyone getting a card that tells them what a certain word is on the grid that everyone should know, but the chameleon gets a blank grid, so they have no idea what word it is that everyone knows. And then during the second part of the game, everyone has to say something linking to that, but being quite vague about it. So the chameleon just says a random word that they think will help them blend in with everyone else. So far I've only played it with 3 or 4 people, and it hasn't quite worked. I think 5 or more would probably be a good amount to make it work properly and sort of have it so the chameleon has more of a chance of not seeming suspicious. But yeah, I think it's another good little bluffing game. King Domino has become quickly one of my favourite games. It's very simple, very easy to get on board with and know what you're doing, and the gist is that you're building a little kingdom and you're trying to get the most amount of crowns and points at the end. Similar to actual dominoes, you need to get matching tiles to stick them together. It's a lot about just trying to make your kingdom the best, as well as trying to get tiles before other people to stop them from getting more points. It's quite a peaceful game really, considering that, where you're mainly just sort of quietly playing and just having a nice time. Yeah, very simple, quite a quick one to get people on board with. Queen Domino is the expansion, but as well as a standalone game. I guess if you found King Domino too simple, because it is quite a simple, quick game, this one adds a bit more strategy to it, with things like collecting knights, trying to get towers, having the queen on your kingdom, all these different things that make sense once you play it. I've really enjoyed it, and by having both King Domino and Queen Domino, I've allowed myself to be able to have even more players than the standard 4, or to have bigger kingdoms for everyone to play with. I've really enjoyed the expansion. It hasn't been too complicated that we weren't able to wrap our heads around it quite quickly, and yeah, it adds a little bit of extra challenge. I think if I'd recommend which one to get, I'd say get King Domino first, but once you start wanting to have more from it, I'd definitely suggest getting Queen Domino as well. Rock, Paper, Wizard. I didn't think a game would be able to make Rock, Paper, Scissors actually exciting, but this one definitely succeeded. The idea is that you have different hand gestures you can do in a spell book that keeps changing, and you get to aim it at different players, and basically it affects the game in how close people are to a pot of gold. The idea of the game is to get the most amount of money and get there first and win. It's quite easy to pick up. Another one of these sort of games that you play rounds quite quickly. But yeah, it's really great. Sometimes it's a bit of a faff trying to figure out who's pointing at who, what spell were they doing, and stuff like this. But besides that, it's quite quick and easy to get your hang of. Codenames is another one that's become quite a big favourite out of my board game groups, and sort of even people that don't normally play board games. It's quite a simple party game to pick up and just get everyone playing loads and loads of rounds. The basic gist of it is that you have 2 teams that are trying to guess where their spies are and get all of them first. But there's spy masters that are only allowed to give 1-word clues. That's basically it to it. Sometimes it can be really tough, but it's quite easy to pick up. So sometimes there's a little bit of waiting around whilst the spy masters try and figure out how the hell do they link these different cards together. But once you get something figured out, it can be really satisfying, and it's really fun just sort of watching people try and figure out what your clues meant and stuff like this. So yeah, this is definitely one worth getting. I also have the not safe for work version, but I haven't tried that one, although I think that one, I'm not sure what I'll think about it, but the base game, the original, is great. Flashpoint. I haven't actually had a chance to play this one yet, but it's similar to Pandemic in the way that you get to work as a team rather than against each other. In this one, you're firefighters trying to save a burning building and as many people as you can from inside of it. It has different difficulty levels. You can play this base game, which apparently is a family-friendly one, or there's the different varying levels of the standard game with extra dangers and stuff. Apparently there's also quite a few expansions for it, so you can keep adding different player roles or different maps to play on. But yeah, I'm excited to give it a go. For some reason I feel like I might enjoy it a lot more than I did Pandemic, which I still enjoyed, but for some reason I don't ever feel too much of an urge to play. I think this one feels a little less complicated, but yeah, who knows, I'll see which one I prefer. Masquerade, I wasn't too sure what I was going to think about it when I got it. I have quite a few different bluffing games like Coup or Avalon and stuff like that, but this one I got hooked on straight away. Basically you have different roles that you have secret, but the main selling point of this game is that you never quite know which role you are. They switch around so often that it's hard to keep track, and anyone can call you out on it, even if they're not too sure whether you are the person you say you are. Yeah, it's another fun, quick-paced game. I kind of wish that it went on a bit longer. I found when I played it the first couple of times that people got to the amount of gold you needed to win very quickly, and just as we were getting into it and trying to figure things out, the game was over. This might just be because we haven't quite got tactics figured out, but despite that, I'm still really enjoying it. I really want to give it another go. It's been a little while since I've had it a try. Red Dragon Inn, I've actually already mentioned in the last vlog about board games, but I had to mention it again because I've now been collecting almost all of the expansions. It keeps adding loads of different characters to it, and I've kind of been hooked on getting more and more. Expansion 5 of the series actually offers you this massive box that allows you to select and put everything all into one, rather than having multiple different boxes all over the place. And yeah, I'm excited to give each character a go. As the series went along, they keep getting more different powers and abilities, but whilst trying to keep it still balanced. There's also things like villains and boss battles and different sort of trials, like being on sea and in a dungeon. It all sounds like it's going to get quite crazy and add a lot to this sort of drinking fun crazy party game. Well, that is my collection up to date. Well, for now at least. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and that's enough from me. See ya, bye!